Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug, and today we've got another Zealot build for you. This is going to be another Eviscerator build, but this one's slightly different, and there is some wiggle room in there for you, so we can change things around quite easily, to be honest. So, to start off with, it's pretty much the same Eviscerator we've been using recently, with Flak and Crit Chance on it, with Shred and Rampage. Shred for the increased crit on chained hit, and Rampage for the increased damage on hitting multiple enemies. Obviously you can change this around slightly. If you want to get rid of the crit to add in maniac damage, you can. I would suggest sticking with the crit though, as this is mostly a very high crit build. And the range weapon we're using is the Quick Draw Stub Revolver. This thing is hilariously fun to play with, and you can pop targets really damn easily on Damnation and Uruk difficulties. You can snipe specials and get rid of those pesky trappers. But there are other options for ranged weapons. For example, you could use the Shredder Auto Pistol with Pinning Fire and Inspiring Barrage. This thing will plug any toughness gaps you have in your build, because Inspiring Barrage gives you plus 4% toughness for every 10% of the magazine spent during continuous fire, stacks 5 times. And usually when you're using the auto pistol, you will be dumping a mag into something. So you're always going to be able to pick that toughness up. You can always go the Pinning Fire and Calicave route for more crit, but I would highly recommend Inspiring Barrage for this. But you can go either way. Both weapons work very well. The Quick Draw Stub Revolver is more for sniping enemies and getting rid of the hard targets. This thing can deal with Ragers and Maulers, and can pretty much 2 to 3 shot a Bulwark or Crusher if your aim is good. Whereas the Auto Pistol, it will take slightly more shots to down things, but you are staggering and increasing your toughness regeneration quite drastically with this. As for the curios, we're still using the bog standard ones I always use, because I'm too lazy to re-roll them, and they've been working fine. If you wanted to, you could dump out the wound to take a health curio with the same perks, but it's totally up to you. There is no massive meta, these are the perfect ones to take for anything. Use what you have, and just try and improve them as you go along. So, talent-wise, what are we doing? Sadly, we didn't have enough crit to get down to this side, but we are taking Disdain, enemies in, enemies without, and Bleed for the Emperor. Then we're going down the middle tree to take Anointed in Blood to help our ranged weapon. Purge the Unclean for increased damage against Infested and Unyielding. This will help us take out Crushers, Bulwarks, and Bosses. Restoring Faith, taking damage, heal 25% damage occurs over 5 seconds. A little bit of survivability, and the Immolation Grenade, which is going to help us deal with hordes and generally anything. This thing is very, very powerful. And then we're coming over to the left side again. We're taking Duelist, weak spot and critical hit damage for 3 seconds on successful dodge. This is going to come into play later. And Until Death and Holy Revenant. This is just going to give us a lot more survivability. Benediction, toughness damage reduction for you and allies in coherency. A toughness boost. Fury of the Faithful, this is going to be our movement ability, and it's also going to be our increased damage and guaranteed crit every time we use it. We're going to come down this way. Sad we couldn't get punishment, but we have picked up Faithful Frenzy and Sustained Assault, and we're going to be coming down here into Inexorable Judgment, and this is going to help us with our movement speed, toughness regeneration, and just general damage. So this is going to be a very, very fast build. You gain stacks by running, well, sprinting, sorry, and you not only gain stacks for speed, you gain them for damage. And our F ability is going to be giving us a massive guaranteed crit. And our ranged weapon is also going to be benefiting from Inexorable Judgment, It's quite a funny weapon to use. I really enjoy it. And obviously the immolation grenade you'll be using for dealing with hordes and putting it in choke points. And hopefully there is a lovely veteran on the team that will help us regenerate grenades. What did they change that? I don't know. I don't think it is group wide anymore. No, it won't help us generate grenades, but hopefully they won't steal them all, so you can. Not as good against carapace armor, but it's still quite a nice grenade. Yeah, it's a very high movement speed build. Very tough. We have lost a little bit of crit by not being able to go down to the right side. But this should keep you swinging and in the fight for most of it, to be honest. And if you have to back out, you can always rely on your ranged weapon. And this is just giving you quite a lot of utility. So, I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And until the next video, take it easy, and I shall see you later.